tonight, welcome to Friday Night Forum, and this evening I'm going to be offering one of my favorite talks, or my favorite book, a talk on the book called the Kybalion. The Kybalion, has anyone ever heard of the Kybalion? No? The law of compensation, one that we never hear about. So there's not only laws that govern the universe, there are sub-laws. The law of rhythm, that everything is in motion, that when we have a thought, then thought begins to move. All of your thoughts are moving in here, you know, they're not static and sitting still. So, how does thought become a thing? Now, one of the things I don't want to go through this evening that the Kybalion explains very nicely are the planes of existence. The three main planes are the spiritual plane, and the mental plane, and the physical plane, but I'm not going to confuse you with that. If you want to take the class, we'll learn about that in class, and you can see how that works. But what I would like to show you is how the universe, according to spiritual science, is created from thought into physical form. And the law of rhythm suggests that, and we'll talk about that directly, that what moves one way also moves the other way. And the law of polarity, which is another Hermetic principle, what is on one side is on the other side. So thought then begins to explore itself up and down. And then thought begins to explore itself this way and that way. So thought moves this way and that way to explore itself. And in the end, to me it makes sense that as we have immersed into the physical form, Kabbalah beautifully demonstrates how we immerse ourselves from spiritual form into physical form, Malkuth. That we come into the elements, the earth, the air, the fire, and water, to experience life in the third-dimensional cube form, a tetrahedron, octahedron, and all of the sacred geometrical forms that we come into to live and experience in physical form. Yet Kybalions always suggest too that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you are vibrating at a low frequency, and just to illustrate this, we'll draw, there are some days that you're feeling like this, aren't there? And there's some days that you're feeling like this, aren't there? Well, some days you're feeling like this, aren't there? Right? Everything operates on a frequency of high or low in your life. The other thing I wanted to say about energy and vibration is that the crystal, I love talking about crystals because they're truly spiritual science in action. Of course, we think this is not moving, but if we take a picture of a crystal with Kybalion photography, it has a huge aura. They just kind of magnify. There's an energy that comes from this, and people who are particularly metaphysical feel the energy of a crystal, that some people will hold this and some people will feel it. In the very beginning, which I should have made it clear, that the Kybalion in the beginning goes into great details, talking about if the student is ready, the teacher appears, or the information appears, and that the Kybalion is not for everyone, that if it falls on deaf ears, then you gain nothing from it. But in order for us to know, how do we know what dark is if we don't know what light is? And how do we know what light is if we don't know what dark is? Now, the book goes into, especially in the axioms of the book, it gives the axioms in the end of the book give you some ideas on how to actually implement some of these principles into your life. And so it would suggest that if you find yourself a little too dark, whether it's in your attitude or in your life, you want to move to the light and add a little more light in your life. So we learn our lessons. And not everything as it appears. And that, if we can get that, then we really are moving toward enlightenment. So the law of polarity is a good one. But sure enough, it will come back to flow. And you can think of the times in your life when you have had great flow, right? And then you've also had So the next one, number 6, is the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has an effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law, not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. We learned this in... Let's see, I think we have one more here. It is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. So, everything is masculine and feminine. And so my vision with this, you know, I've seen this before. Available at New Vision. He who understands this is well on the road to mastery, the Kybalion. So with that, go and be wonderful. Thank you all for listening.